Hi, I'm Andrew Smith, Associate Director of Virginia Farm Bureau's Governmental Relations Department.
And I'm Stephanie Talon, Assistant Director for Farm Bureau Government Relations. We are at the end of week 3 of the General Assembly. Thanks everyone for sticking around for our updates. It's been another busy week and we've seen a lot of bills see action and move through subcommittees and committees and even get past the full House of Delegates and Senate this week. So it's moving right along. And Andrew, I know Ben's been working hard on labor issues. Do you want to share an update with us on some of those?
Ben has. He's been spending a lot of time on some labor issues for our members. I want to start off on a bright spot, I think, and that's dealing with heat illness. This issue came before the General Assembly last year. It was supposed to have been studied over the year. As we know, COVID delayed a lot of things, and as well as special sessions. So those bills came back this year, and House Bill 1785 from Delegate Ward and Senate Bill 1358, Senator Hashmi. Ben did express Farm Bureau's concern about these bills and that enough time hadn't been taken to study the issue and the implications of the bills. So at the end of the day, the patrons on both sides asked their bills be stricken for more conversation can be had. So we appreciate Ben communicating our position on that. Not so great news is House Bill 1786 from the chairman of the Labor and Commerce Committee, Delegate Ward. And this would remove the agricultural exemption from the minimum wage code section. This has been in place for a number of years. Agriculture, primarily production agriculture, is rather unique situation. They're not major corporations and cannot pass expenses on to the next person, and how our price structures are. But the bill did not get discussed in subcommittee. It went straight to full committee, and it did pass and is headed to the House floor. So Ben will continue to communicate our position and watch that bill as it goes forward. We did have other segments of the industry speak in opposition to that bill yesterday, but again, it's headed to the House floor. Stephanie, I know you had a great conversation with Martha on budget issues and what she's been working on behalf of our members. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. As always, Martha is staying on top of our budget issues, and I'll touch on a few budget amendments that are out there that we're supporting. There are many going through right now, and we're certainly in support of many of them, but I just want to touch on 3 top priorities right now. The first, of course, being funding for the Agriculture Best Management Practices Cost Share Program. As always, our members know this is a top priority for us for many years now. In order to help us meet those water quality goals by the year 2025, it's critical to have full funding for that program. And there are budget amendments right now on both the House and Senate side. Delegate Bulova is carrying it for us on the House, and Senator Hanger is carrying it for us on the Senate side. Put about 63.6 million additional dollars into the budget to fully fund that program. So again, top priority for us, and we are fully supporting that. The second ties into legislation that I've mentioned before, and that's to establish the Dairy Producer Margin Coverage Premium Assistance Program. As our dairy producers are probably very familiar with, this is to encourage producers to participate in the federal voluntary risk management program, the margin coverage program, and this would reimburse producers who do participate for those premiums, which would be a lot of assistance to our struggling dairy farmers right now. So that corresponding budget amendment is going through as well, carried by Delegate Lopez and Senator Obenshain to provide $1.5 million to establish that fund. So we're very hopeful that that's going to be seen through to the final stages of the General Assembly, because this would be very important for dairy farmers. Lastly, I want to mention funding for Virginia Cooperative Extension, another area which has been a top priority for Farm Bureau over the years. Right now, we've got budget amendments in, again, by Delegate Bulova and Senator Hanger to fund cooperative extension, and this would be for $1.92 million to begin the first year, 4 years of request to address 4 specific areas of need. That would be internet connectivity at the AREX and county extension offices, equipment at AREX, new agents in Virginia, and extension agent competitive salary adjustments, which our members might remember was another critical issue coming into session, was adjusting those salaries for extension agents to make them more competitive with the private sector, so that we don't continue to lose qualified extension agents once we have them in the counties. Again, very important for our members. and we'll be continuing to follow those budget amendments as they move through the process. And Andrew, I know we've had a lot of good responses to the survey, speaking of cost share practices. The survey we mentioned about ag BMPs and the practices that producers are putting into place. Do you want to give a reminder maybe to our members about that survey?
I do, Stephanie, and thank you for the opportunity to do that. This is really important to the industry and to Virginia. Virginia Farm Bureau has been working with the conservation groups and the state as partners and working on water quality issues, and particularly best management practices, getting funding, finding the right practices that work and make sense for our producers. And as we've said, in our reports in the last few weeks, there is a survey being conducted by Virginia Cooperative Extension. It's online, and it's in partnership with the state, the Soil and Water Conservation Association, Virginia Farm Bureau, the Agribusiness Council is all in on this as well, to gather more information about best management practices have been implemented in the Chesapeake Bay watershed. And, anybody that maybe has looked at the survey, see that it's long, they'll have flashbacks of doing the ag census, but it's so important that we collect that data. No information is going to be released on people. They're looking at where the practices have been implemented to make sure everything is captured, because not everything is captured through the normal process, because some people have implemented practices without going through the state. They just felt like, even though money wasn't present or the technical experience wasn't there for them at that time, the time was right for their operation and they went ahead and did it. So we would want to collect that data to make, the information presented more sound and know where these practices are. So please, we encourage the members to go to one of the websites, either look for an email that they have been sent or go to Soil and Water Conservation Association website. Just search for Soil and Water Association in Virginia website. As soon as you go to that landing page, you'll see the link to that. They can download a PDF of it, fill it out, and then go back online and fill it. So please, members, producers, fill out that survey.
Thanks for sharing that. And for our producer members, your weekly email newsletter update will be coming to you this afternoon. If you're not receiving that as a producer member, please don't hesitate to reach out to us to let us know. I also put a plug in for action alerts. If you're not signed up for those, it's absolutely critical that you do so. It's so important for your legislators, especially in this virtual environment, to hear directly from you about the issues that affect you. And we've already had several action alerts go out this year. We get a lot of feedback from legislators that they're receiving them in large numbers, and that truly does make a difference in the outcome of legislation. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.